So, before we continue, a couple of things. One, forgive me if I kind of get a feel for how this is going to work in terms of controls and such. This is effectively my first time playing Mass Effect 2 on the PC with a keyboard and mouse. Like, all the other times I've played this game have usually been on a console, like my PS3. So it's going to take me a little bit just to kind of get used to the controls, but at the same time, they already feel kind of familiar. Like, R is reload, so it just might take me a little while to try and get used to it. It's obviously different kinds of controls and such compared to even the first game. But we'll see on that regard. Strafe, that's interesting. I didn't realize I could actually do a strafe here. Left control is walk? Okay. Don't you just love it when one button is used for multiple functions? I know some people that drives them insane. They're like, there are so many more buttons on the keyboard you can use for other functions like that. I know some people that they kind of go nuts about that. Like, come on, use other buttons as well. F is melee. Of course, H is still holster. Okay. Shift is still the command HUD. Okay, so C is form up. Alright. Seems pretty straightforward. And again, it's like, oh, because we didn't have to reload at all in the first game, now it's like, oh yeah, we actually reload in this game because of the ammo. Also, one other thing I want to comment on. The save editor, of course, as I said before, is working because, as I suspected and checked, it was something having to do with this game. Not the save file from Mass Effect 1. That was fine. But when I checked the save file I had just made for this game, I took a look. What's funny is they actually know that people want to fix this. So they actually had a little text there saying, for the Conrad Werner fix, do this. So I looked at it, and wouldn't you know it, there's two options the save file recognizes that. Either Conrad Werner was charmed or Conrad Werner was threatened. Both were checked. That's the bug that has been in the game for a long time. So we seemingly couldn't be able to actually get that fixed. And it never got patched or fixed. The developers apparently never fixed that. So the way to fix that is you just uncheck Conrad was threatened. And voila. So hopefully, as long as it all works out, because it looks like it should be working out just fine for the rest of the way, when we get to Ilium and encounter Conrad Werner, we should finally see what we should have seen long ago in regards to the whole encountering him with the whole, like, oh yeah, by the way, this is like what I actually did to you. Just saying, Conrad. Anyways. Also, what I found out is that I may be able to actually go ahead and do a little bit of cheating the rest of the way through in terms of being able to, say, change these things down here. Resources, credits. I can actually change this if I wanted to. So, yeah. We may not have to worry about resources or credits ever again. Thanks to the save editor. But hopefully, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also, one other mod I forgot to mention is a mod that allows me to basically skip and win all the minigames. You know those hacking minigames and bypass minigames and such? Yeah, I wasn't never too fond of those. So now I can just skip right through them and just automatically win. So there we go. We won't waste our time doing little hacking minigames anymore in this game. So let's continue, shall we?
Shepard, security mechs are closing in on your position.
They've seen us.
System not designed to specialize in engaging target.
BAM!
System allied force casualty.
Nice work, Shepard. Coast is clear.
I'm telling you, that biotic charge ability. Absolutely love it. Just wait until we get our shotgun.
Don't waste time. I can't keep the mechs distracted for long. More reinforcements heading your
Hold on, what's the button to switch between weapons? Really? Oh, okay.
Hurry! Get to the door! Run! You're doing fine, Shepard. Head to the next room and I'll try to meet you. Shepard, read me. I've got men closing in on my position. Progress is slow, but subject shows signs of recovery. Major organs are again functional, and there are signs of rudimentary neurological activity. In an effort to accelerate the process, we've moved from simple organic reconstruction of the subject to biosynthetic fusion. Initial results show promise.
Log update. The cost of this project is astronomical. Over 4 billion credits so far. But nobody seems to care that we've gone over budget. I don't know where the boss gets all his money. Maybe it's better not to know. I just wish he'd kick a little more in my direction once in a while.
We, of course, much later in the game will be able to actually get from Edie the info about how exactly the elusive man gets all of his money.
Warning, hostile force using non-standard.
Log update. I can't figure Miranda out. As project director, she should be ecstatic at all the progress we've made. But she's still the same old ice queen. Maybe she's worried Shepard might become the new favorite. Or maybe she is just a pure cold-hearted bitch.
No, there is definitely more to Miranda than that.
Get over here! Shepard, what the hell?
Hi, Jacob.
What are you doing here? I thought you were still a work in progress.
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to you right now. I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been stationed here for—
Hostiles detected.
Damn it! Things must be worse than I thought if Miranda's got you running around. I'll fill you in, but we better get you to the shuttle first.
So let me really quick say, I actually do like Jacob in this game. I just hate what they did with him in 3. What they did with him in 3 to me is just... ugh. I feel so bad for anyone who actually ended up romancing Jacob in this game because they perhaps got the worst payoff in the 3rd game. Like, he's fine in this game, but in the... just... I did not like Jacob in the 3rd game at all. I really didn't. But we'll get there. I will, of course, point that out when we get there, but in this game, he's actually pretty fine.
What's with the mechs?
Security. Usually they fight for us. Somebody must have hacked them. That should be impossible, unless you've got access. We've got to get you out of here, Shepard.
I know this isn't the best time, but I'm sick of stumbling around when I don't know what's going on.
Fair enough. I'll give you the quick version. You and your ship were attacked and destroyed. You were killed. Dead as dead can be when they brought you here. Our scientists spent the last 2 years putting you back together. You've been comatose, or worse, that whole time. Welcome back to your life.
This doesn't look like an Alliance facility.
It isn't. I can't say much more than that for now. The Alliance officially declared you killed in action. The whole galaxy thinks you're dead. And if we don't get to those shuttles, they'll be right.
Were there any other survivors from the Normandy?
I'll tell you what. You help me finish off these mechs, and I'll play 20 questions with you all day. We're low on thermal clips, but I'm a biotic. Just give the order when you want me to hit them with the good stuff.
Authorized for requesting assist. Hostile forces have engaged. Member offline.
Falling back. Okay. I promised I'd answer your questions. What do you want to know?
What's your job here?
Depends on who you ask. Technically, I'm Miranda's top lieutenant, but I'm just a soldier. I served 5 years in the Alliance before this. Now I'm in charge of the station's security. Usually a lot more dull than this. Normally I don't fire my gun unless it's target practice.
When I first woke up, someone named Miranda was talking to me over the radio. We lost contact just before I ran into you.
Miranda Lawson is the station's ranking officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you. She's not about to give up on you now. You said you lost contact. Could you tell what was happening?
There was some gunfire and an explosion right before I lost her.
She knows how to take care of herself. But I hope she's okay.
Do you know anything about this attack? Who's behind it, what they're after?
Damned if I know. I was getting ready for some shut-eye, then bam! Bunch of explosions. Next thing I know, every damn mech in the place starts shooting at us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job. You'd need top security access to hack all the mechs.
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me. How bad were my injuries?
I'm no doctor, but it was bad. When I first saw you, you were nothing but meat and tubes. Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
What do you mean, cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty sure you're not a clone. They wanted to bring you back exactly as you were. You're still you. You just might have a few extra bits and pieces now.
What can you tell me about the project? Were there other test subjects?
Project Lazarus only had one subject. The whole point was to bring you back. Just you. Even that was a challenge. 2 years. All the top scientists. The best technology money could buy.
Yeah, we find out a bit more about that during the big final mission against the Cerberus base in 3. But anyways.
The last thing I remember is the Normandy blowing up. Did anyone else make it?
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion. But everyone else, including the non-Alliance crew, the Asari, Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I don't know, Commander. It's been 2 years. They've moved on. Left the Alliance. Could be anywhere.
They were my team. If they knew I was alive, they'd come back.
Maybe you can track them down after we get off the station. If we get off the station.
What's the quickest way to those shuttles?
Depends where the mechs are thickest. It's probably best if we...
Check. Anyone on this frequency? Anybody still alive out there? Hello?
Wilson, this is Jacob. I'm here with Commander Shepard. Just took out a wave of mechs over in D-Wing.
Shepard's alive? How the hell? Never mind. You need to get her out of there. Get to the service tunnels and head for the network control room.
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
It's interesting the way Wilson reacts to that. Like, he was expecting... My guess is that his plan was that the mechs were going to kill everybody on the station, and then he would go and recover Shepard's body for whatever the goal or reason was. Because, hey, everyone else is dead and Shepard's not alive, so easy pickings, right?
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time when I woke up.
That's him. He's the chief medical tech. Answers directly to Miranda. Come on. The service tunnels are this way.
Probably thought, oh, heck yeah, I can get a pretty nice mount here from Shepard's body. And as we heard from the logs, he wasn't too keen about the way the expenses for this project were going.
This room is crawling with mechs.
The whole station is crawling with mechs. I'm doing the best I can.
Impact imminent. Excuse me. Allied forces
Wilson, find us another route out of here. Preferably...
Oh, God. They found me. Help!
Wilson, where are you?
Server room B! Hurry! They're out of control!
Physical reconstruction of subject is complete, but we still need to evaluate all mental and neurological functions. Our orders were clear. Make Commander Shepard who she was before the explosion. The same mind, the same morals, the same personality. If we alter her identity in any way, if she's somehow not the woman she used to be, the Lazarus Project will have failed. I I refuse to let that happen.
Yeah, that's funny, considering that she admits to us later that she wanted to put a chip in our heads to basically control us, or to prevent us from doing anything that would have, well, gone against what the Elusive Man wanted, which would have definitely altered, stuff from Shepard, at least I think it would have. But at least later on in 3, she admits that she then regrets wanting to do that. So, like I said, I like Miranda's character because there's definitely more to her than the very cold person that we see quite a bit of. There is definitely more to her. It's one of the reasons I really like her character, and one of the reasons why I tend to really like the romance with her.
Bastards!
Even though I wish they had done more with it, especially in 3, because, as I said, the fact that there is a lack of an actual, big final scene, and yes, there is one conversation you can have with her before the big final battle in 3, but to me that's kind of a nah. It's not as much as it is compared to other characters like Ashley, Tally, Garrus, who have these, Caden, who have these big final scenes with Shepard before the big finale, and I feel like some other characters could have gotten that as well, including Miranda, but whatever.
You were there the first time I regained consciousness.
Yeah, that was me. How about we talk about this after we fix my leg?
Should be some Medi-gel in the first aid station on the wall. Hopefully there's enough to get him up and moving again.
Grab the Medi-gel from the first aid station on the wall. Thanks, Shepard. Never thought you'd save my life. Guess that makes us even now, hmm? I thought maybe I could shut down the security mechs, but whoever did this fried the whole system. Completely irreversible.
We didn't ask what you were doing. Why do you even have security mech clearance? You were in the bio wing.
Weren't you listening? I came here to try and fix this. Besides, I was shot. How do you explain that?
You're all strangers to me. Let's get someplace safe and then we'll sort out whose fault it is.
Right, Shepard. We need to find Miranda. We can't leave her behind.
Forget about Miranda. She was over in D-Wing. The mechs were all over that sector. There's no way she survived.
A bunch of mechs won't drop Miranda. She's alive.
Then where is she? Why haven't we heard from her? There are only two possible explanations. She's either dead, or she's a traitor.
Can I just say that I'm very much enjoying just watching the faces. Just watch the faces. Just maybe it's because I have played this series so many times, including this game in particular, and I used to play it on a PlayStation 3. But this Legendary Edition on my pretty nice, at least I think it's pretty nice, PC, gosh, the facial animations just seem really nice. But then again, I'm also doing this right after playing Mass Effect 1, which, yeah, Mass Effect 2, if you didn't notice, was a nice step up in quality compared to Mass Effect 1. To me, it just seemed like they really made some strides when it came to the engine that they wanted to use, as well as just, the quality of how they wanted the game to run and look. You can definitely see it and hear it throughout the game. It just is quite a step up in quality. To me, Mass Effect 2 is a great example of showing the quality that they could be able to really put out with a game like this.
Then why did she wake me up and warn me about the attack?
Okay, maybe she's not a traitor, but that doesn't change the facts. We're here, she's not. We need to save ourselves. The shuttle bay is only a few...
We can overload the canisters to clear a path to the shuttles. That's it. Let's get out of here.
Okay, we took him down. But this is getting tense. Shepard, if I tell you who we work for, will you trust me?
This really isn't the time, Jacob.
We won't make it if she's expecting a shot in the back.
If you want to piss off the boss, it's your ass, Jacob.
The Lazarus Project, the program that rebuilt you. It's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
I find it funny that the never heard of them option is still here, even though we definitely did those. I'm just saying. But anyways, trying to remember if the middle or the top one is the one that where Shepard is like, "Hey, I did this to Cerberus." I hope she acknowledges that with the top option. But what I was gonna say is one of the things I like about Jacob's character is how honest he is. Just really notice and pay attention throughout. Jacob is just straight up honest constantly throughout. He's not someone who is going to be very deceptive and such. That's someone that, that's something that Miranda is completely fine with, as being deceptive and lying in order to accomplish the mission. But Jacob is one who tends to just be outright honest about everything. And it's one of the things I like is that the Elusive Man says that that's something he has always kind of liked and appreciated. He actually says this to Shepard later on, where he says, like, well, he's never trusted me, but he's always been honest about it. And it's something I like. We'll talk more about the Elusive Man later, obviously, so.
I think I ran into Cerberus a few times while I was investigating Saren. Some kind of pro-human splinter group, right?
Well, that's what the Alliance wants people to believe. But there's more to it. The Alliance declared you dead. They gave up. Cerberus spent a fortune to bring you back. Look, I'd be suspicious too. But right now, we have to work together. I thought you deserved to know what's what. Once we're off the station, I'll take you to the Elusive Man. He'll explain everything. I promise.
You know what's something else I think that's really helping me enjoy the faces and the facial animations and how they move? Is that I'm so used to seeing the strange old default or custom face for Shepard, FemShep, from the original version of this game. And this is, again, the first time we're able to just have this default appearance for FemShep in this game. Because, again, it wasn't introduced until the third game. And I just think it looks really good in this game. That's just me, anyway.
Elusive Man. Is he in charge of all this?
Yeah. That's not his real name, of course. Nobody knows who he really is.
It was a code name the Alliance used for him. Kinda stuck.
Well, if I won't get any more answers here, let's get moving.
It's not much farther to the shuttle bay.
Again, noticing we're not doing the minigame. We're just accessing it and getting the money.
We've been spotted.
Just really keeps the flow going.
Shield's down.
Proximity warning.
Can't get over.
Huh. That still pops up even though we have the mod.
Test subject has been recovered, but the damage is far worse than we initially feared. In addition to the expected burns and internal injuries from the explosion, subject has suffered significant cellular breakdown due to long-term exposure to vacuum and sub-zero temperatures. Despite the extent of the physical trauma, Wilson assures me subject is salvageable. The Lazarus project will proceed as planned.
Notice that she mentioned the sub-zero temperatures. It kind of goes hand in hand with when we saw that plant that the Normandy was destroyed over, that it seemed to be a planet covered in snow. That it seemed like it was just kind of like a Hoth similar type of planet. So, yeah.
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you were...
Dead?
What the hell are you doing?
Great intro for Miranda.
My job. Wilson betrayed us all.
Even if you're sure, did he deserve that welcome?
He sabotaged the security systems, killed my staff, and he would have killed us.
You sure about that, Miranda? We've known Wilson for years. What if you're wrong?
I'm never wrong. I thought you'd have learnt that by now, Jacob.
You should have taken him alive, see what he knew.
Too risky. I've put too much time and effort bringing you back to life to let you get killed now.
You really think Wilson's capable of that?
Not anymore.
Gosh, the visual quality really shows, for me anyway. And again, maybe it's because I've just played this game so many times. Just the enhanced visual quality for this Legendary Edition. I'm playing this on a better machine, and just like the character model for Miranda alone just looks so much better now than it used to. Also, look at Shepard's armor. Just to me, look at some of the scratches and such on there. Gosh, I love like how much visually better this game looks compared to how it used to.
If you say so. What's our next step?
We get on the shuttle and go. My boss wants to speak to you.
You mean the elusive man? I know you work for Cerberus.
Ah, Jacob. I should have known your conscience would get the better of you.
Lying to the commander isn't the way to get her to join our cause.
Well, since we're getting everything out in the open, is there anything else you want to ask before we go, Commander?
You're the Lazarus Project's director, aren't you?
That's right. I put 2 years of my life into this project. Into you.
What does Cerberus want from me?
Maybe you should ask the elusive man when you meet him. He poured virtually unlimited resources into Lazarus. Obviously, he has some kind of plan for you.
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during the attack?
Besides trying to save your life, Wilson figured out I was helping you and he sent an army of mechs to take me out. I got here as soon as I could. Probably a little too soon if you ask Wilson.
Where are we going?
Another Cerberus facility. The elusive man is waiting for you there.
I'm not sure I trust you.
This is the only shuttle off the station. You want to stay and rot with the mechs? Be my guest.
What about the rest of the people on the station?
This is the evac area. If they're not here now, they're not coming.
We can't leave without knowing for sure. We need to go back and look.
Don't you get it? The only one worth saving is you. Everyone else is expendable.
She's right. We all knew the risks when we signed up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
I've had enough of this station to last a lifetime.
Or 2, in your case. Come on. Before you meet with the elusive man, we need to ask a few questions to evaluate your condition.
Come on, Miranda, more tests? Shepard took down those mechs without any trouble. That has to be good enough.
It's been 2 years since the attack. The elusive man needs to know that Shepard's personality and memories are intact. Ask the questions.
Did you say 2 years? I've been gone that long?
2 years and 12 days. And you were on an operating table for most of it.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a spacer kid. Raised mostly on one ship or another. You enlisted and won a medal fighting Batarians during the Skillian Blitz. Do you remember that?
Real quick, this goes back to what I was saying about how I sometimes like to do a little bit of role-playing myself when it comes to how I have my characters that I create kind of feel or react to certain things. And during this interview, I'd imagine that earlier when Jacob had already told her, hey, by the way, it's been 2 years, yeah, she even asked about it, but at the same time, they were under attack, and it was in the heat of the moment with the mechs, and they're still trying to figure out how to get out of there alive. Now that things have kind of settled down, and she hears that again, that it's been 2 years, it kind of really starts to just kind of sink in. And it really starts there, because notice how she sounded when we asked that again. Like, wait, you said it's been 2 years? I've been gone that long? Like, just, like, it's finally started to really sink in. Like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 years since the destruction of the Normandy. And think about how, she probably starts to think about how much has probably changed over the past couple of years. A lot can change in a couple of years. So, that just kind of started to sink in, so. And another moment's going to come up here in just a moment.
A lot of lives depended on me holding that position. I did what I had to.
However you want to put it, it was damn impressive. I had friends who were there. Satisfied, Miranda?
Almost. Let's try something more recent. Vermeer, where you destroyed Saren's cloning facility. You had to leave one of your squad behind to die in the blast.
Lieutenant Caden Alenko was killed in action. It was your call. Why did you leave him behind?
Now, remember what I said earlier about how I sort of accidentally got her locked into a romance with Caden, and basically the only way to get out of it was to leave him on Vermeer. However, I kind of like decided to go ahead and add that into her story, that she was starting to develop feelings and a relationship with Caden, but still ended up leaving him back on Vermeer, kind of honoring his request. And yeah, I know you could choose one or the other, but she ended up not saving him, and it's something that to this day still hurts for her. So I imagine when they brought this up just now, like internally, it kind of like made her just kind of wince a bit, because it still like emotionally hurts for her thinking of having to leave Caden back there, because she was starting to develop feelings for him. And I would like if, like, for a brief moment, we see a tear kind of go down Shepard's face when this is brought up and when she answers, just to kind of add that little element there. But that would just be how I would want the story of this particular Shepard I'm making to kind of go in that regard. I just think that would be kind of cool.
I left a friend to die that day, and I didn't do it casually. But I had to save as many people as I could. Caden gave his life for the rest of the team. Without him, I couldn't have stopped Saren. He died a hero.
I understand, Commander, and I wasn't judging your decision. Everybody at Cerberus knows that cloning facility had to be destroyed.
There are other tests we really should run.
Come on, Miranda. Enough with the quizzes. The memories are there, and I can vouch for Shepard's combat skills personally.
I suppose you're right. We'll have to hope the elusive man accepts our little field test as evidence enough.
Of course, the council races are there. Protheans are there. All the ones from the first game are here as well. The only one that's not there is the Rachni, but we might get that later. However,
immediately following the First Contact War, an anonymous extranet manifesto warned that an alien attempt at human genocide was inevitable. The manifesto called for an army, a Cerberus, to guard against invasion through the Charon Relay. Derided as survivalist rhetoric written by an elusive man, the manifesto and its anonymous author soon fell off the media radar. But in 2165, terrorists stole antimatter from the SSV Geneva. The sole figure arrested named his sponsor Cerberus. Throughout the 2160s and 2170s, alleged Cerberus agents assassinated politicians, sabotaged starships bearing Ezo, and conducted nightmarish experiments on aliens and humans. Denounced as human supremacist, Cerberus calls itself human survivalist. Counter-terror experts speculate Cerberus may have changed leadership with its recent shift to stockpiling ships, agents, and weapons. Whether he, she, or they, the elusive man hides his finances hidden behind shell companies. Few doubt he will kill anyone attempting to expose him.
now what do you go?
The man is waiting for you in the other room.
Thanks, Miranda. Before we go talk to him, though, we have to get dressed. So first, let me go ahead and check this out. Yes! So, yeah, they added more of the casual appearances from 3 into this game as well. The hoodie! I'm sorry, I love the N7 hoodie. Absolutely love this casual appearance. I love it so much. As for armor, I love that the helmet is an option for this. You know. And we have no other pieces here. Can go ahead and kind of change how it looks. either gray or more black. I've always loved the black and red. Adds more of a pattern on this. Or we can just go straight camo, which I think is kind of appropriate. But then again, if we do that, we'd have to change the tint. We can go full red if we want to. Then if we would go camo, can we go like green camo? Yeah, it looks like we can. Although it does kind of clash. Hold on, never mind. Pattern color, here we go. There we go. So if we want to go like full on camo green, there we go. But at the same time, I do like I've always loved the black and red look. You do that and it just basically disappears. It's a shame that there's only 3 patterns. There's either this, this, or this. I really wish there were more. Just really let us go nuts with those. Though I think there may be mods for those. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we can just kind of, for now, just go ahead and stick with the classic look. I know, after all that, I ended up not really doing anything, except changing the hoodie casual appearance. Anyways, let's go speak with this elusive man, shall we? Hello, Tim.
Commander Shepard.
Elusive man. I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
Unnecessary precaution. Not unusual for people who know what you and I know.
Alright, so let me just say this. I'm not too, we'll discuss the Elusive Man and how he changed, or how they handled the Elusive Man in 3 later when we get there. But for now, here in 2, I really like the Elusive Man in this game. I think he's a fascinating character. Also, he's voiced by a pretty great actor. I know Martin Sheen has a really great, long, and very prolific career, but for me, this to me is not only one of his best performances that he's given in his career, but for me, it's my favorite role that he's ever played in his career. I really like what he does with this character. Plus, I also think that he's actually written pretty interesting in this game. Again, we'll discuss. Well, 3 is separate. We'll save 3 for later. But in this game, I think he's actually a really interesting character. I really, really like the Elusive Man character in this game.
You might be the reason I'm still alive, but that doesn't mean I trust you.
You need to put your personal feelings aside. Humanity is up against the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The Reapers.
Good to see your memory's still intact. How are you feeling?
By the way, the music that's playing in the background, the very kind of like doon 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 doon. I love that music. I've listened to that music and kind of played it in the background sometimes, just on my own, just because of how much I enjoy this little track of music that plays basically every time the Elusive Man is on screen. I really like this little bit of music that plays in the background for these conversations.
You need to earn the right to ask me those kinds of questions.
Cerberus isn't as evil as you believe. You and I are on the same side. We just have different methods.
Cut to the chase. What are the Reapers doing that made you decide to bring me back?
We're at war. No one wants to admit it, but humanity is under attack. While you've been sleeping, entire colonies have been disappearing. Human colonies. We believe it's someone working for the Reapers, just as Saren and the Geth aided Sovereign. You've seen it yourself. You bested all of them. That's just one reason we chose you.
You could have trained an entire army for what you spent to bring me back.
You're unique, not just in ability or what you've experienced, but in what you represent. You stood for humanity at a key moment. You're more than a soldier. You're a symbol. And I don't know if the Reapers understand fear, but you killed one. They have to respect that.
You know what I've liked about that line that he gives there about how you're more than a soldier, you're a symbol. It reminds me of the little bit of dialogue from Batman Begins where Bruce Wayne was telling Alfred about what he was going to do when he got back to Gotham to try and fix things, where he was saying, you know, men can be corrupted, targeted, ignored, and, you know, and I can't, you know, I can't really do that as Bruce Wayne, you know. I'm paraphrasing, I'm doing this wrong. As a man, I can be ignored, I can be corrupted and such, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. You know that little bit of dialogue from Batman Begins about how Bruce Wayne envisioned Batman being a symbol, and you know, it's something it was one of my favorite bits of dialogue from Batman Begins. But then again, I love Batman Begins as a film and how it was done, and I see the connections here between that. At least I do. I know that makes it sound as if I'm trying to say Shepard is like Batman or something, but think about it. As a symbol, think about how much people would rally behind Shepard as a symbol, considering all that Shepard has done and will do. In the same way they kind of do in The Dark Knight for, you know, the people of Gotham do for Batman as a symbol. You see where I'm going with this? Anyways.
Sovereign was trying to harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands of colonists have vanished. I'd say that fits the definition of harvesting.
Yeah.
Nobody's paying attention because it's random, and the attacks occur in remote locations. I don't know why they've suddenly targeted humanity. Maybe you got their attention when you killed one of them.
You know the horrifying thing about what he says there? And this is even more so when we get to the collector base and find the human Reaper. Hundreds of thousands over the last couple of years harvested and processed. That's terrifying when you think about it. Again, once we got the first time I got to the collector base and I actually saw what they were doing to the people, it was one of the more kind of jarring things I've ever experienced. Just that realization of just how horrifying of a whole scenario that was. Yeah.
If this is a threat against humanity, you need to mobilize the Alliance.
They suffered substantial losses fighting Sovereign. They're rebuilding, still stretched too thin to waste resources verifying the Reaper threat. Blaming the abductions on mercs and pirates is easier and more convenient.
Fighting a war doesn't seem like Cerberus. Why are you involved?
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity. If the Reapers are targeting us, trying to wipe us out, Cerberus will stop them. If we wait for politicians or the Alliance to act, no more human colonies will be left.
If what you say is true, if the Reapers are behind this, I'd consider helping you.
I'd be disappointed if you accepted any of this without seeing for yourself. I have a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress, the latest colony to be abducted. Miranda and Jacob will brief you.
Miranda killed Wilson in cold blood. Jacob's just a gun for hire. You expect me to trust them?
Wilson was one of my best agents, but he was a traitor. Miranda did exactly what I expected of her, and she saved your life in more ways than one. Jacob's a soldier, one of the best. He's never fully trusted me, but he's always been honest about it.
See?
You'll be just fine with them. For now.
I like how he says that as if that's something that he respects. He respects that Jacob is honest with him, that he doesn't fully trust him. And I like that.
Is this a volunteer job, or am I being volunteered?
You always have a choice, Shepard. If you don't find the evidence we're both looking for, we can part ways. But first, go to Freedom's Progress. Find any clues you can. Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection to the Reapers? I brought you back. It's up to you to do the rest.
Immediately the reclusive tycoon calling himself the Elusive Man is a human nationalist focused on advancing human interests, whatever the cost to non-humans. The Citadel Council regards him as a fanatic, posing a serious threat to galactic security. A mysterious maverick, to say the least, the Elusive Man heads the Cerberus network. Dubbed the Elusive Empire by investigators, Cerberus is an allegedly untraceable syndicate of private intelligence agencies, biotics laboratories, engineering and scientific research teams, and lucrative front companies. Branded a terrorist and seditionist organization by authorities, Cerberus is the only human power base other than the Terra Firma Party, strong enough to embarrass, if not threaten, the Council and its human representatives.
Destroyer or champion? Huh. Go ahead and get for incendiary ammo. There we go. Okay. Interesting conversation. We, of course, will have some more later on. When we return, we will be chatting with both Miranda and Jacob and then heading to Freedom's Progress. Stay tuned.